Hey YouTube, it's the Naturator here, back with another creation. This is a custom UFO, kind of the typical UFO style, where it's the flying saucer, the typical flying saucer that you'd see up in the sky, maybe terrorizing a farmer and his cows or something like that. This is something that I've actually had the idea for kicking around for a while. LEGO did a contest. It's been probably more than a year now, where they did a contest on the LEGO Ideas website. And so they did a contest for a space-themed build. And it was supposed to be something small that could be the size of a promotional kit. So something that would be like a freebie that they throw in. And so I had a flying saucer built for that, but it wasn't quite as cylindrical as I wanted it to be. So the edges were not very circular. So I had it kind of kicking around, but I didn't end up submitting it to that contest. But a few months later, Rich Boy J on YouTube did a mock showcase. So Rich Boy J, he does a lot of LEGO Star Wars videos. He was doing a showcase of other people's creations, and he highlighted a Millennium Falcon build from Cyphos, who is a user on Flickr. I will link his Millennium Falcon down below, as well as Rich Boy J's original video. But he highlighted that, the Millennium Falcon. And the Millennium Falcon used a really cool technique to get a cylinder. So they had these curved slopes, these 3 long curved slopes that went into these 45-degree angle slopes and then back into a curved slope, which ends up getting you a really, really nice circular profile there that I was pretty impressed with. Now, there's a few tricky building techniques in that, and at the end of this I'll actually break this down and we can look at some of the half stud offsets that you see here and figure out a little bit more about how I ended up doing that. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I used some translucent green pieces that I thought worked out pretty well for kind of the laser beam, or kind of a pretty good stand for this creation, as well as a pretty menacing looking alien from one of the Alien Conquest space police lines, something along those, to that effect. So then here at the top, this canopy opens up, so lets the alien out here, and you can see a pretty good interior here. You've got some levers and buttons there, the chair for the alien to sit in, and then some kind of piping going along at the bottom there, which is actually part of the structure for the build. So the canopy actually was something that I got in the first go round of the LEGO Toy Story sets. Was Buzz's helmet for kind of the bigger constructible figures. So I thought that was a really neat use. I've wanted to use it for that ever since I got it. And finally had that opportunity. So we'll take this apart and get a closer look at exactly what I did for some of those half stud offsets that made this circle, this nearly perfect circle. So as you can see here, the inside's kind of a little bit different than a typical LEGO build. Everything's built on its side, and you can see, to get these slopes to match right up with that quarter, or that 45-degree angle, I needed to do a half stud or a half plate offset right there. So typically we'd be dealing with a full plate, but to get that to match up, we did a half plate offset. And I'll just kind of take one of these side panels off here and you'll see it's even kind of crazier than you might at first expect. So here we have some regular studs and then some anti-studs. So the regular studs hold the paneling on along that, and then the anti-studs are actually to put this panel on. So this panel covers up and makes everything flush. So everything's flush when you're looking at this from the top. So then once you've got this canopy on, you've got a full, complete, and flush circle all around here. And that was just some really interesting building. You can kind of see that I've got some snot brackets here. There's a L-shaped snot bracket and then another one perpendicular to that were used to put that together. And then looking deeper, we'll kind of keep peeling this apart if we can. I'll take the bottom off here. So the bottom is actually studs facing down to hold that piece on. And here at the bottom, you can see that we've got a T-shaped piece, and then these 1x1 round cylinders that are actually holding the two sides together. So we can take those sides apart, and it's pretty strong because the connection points, there's also a connection point here holding on to that. So those pieces, and then the sideways. So it's kind of a pretty interesting build, but those are the T pieces that keep the whole thing together. And then also they go ahead and put the panels on, which are used to make everything sort of flush with each other. So that is how it came together. If anyone is interested in instructions to this, go ahead and comment down below if you'd like to see some instructions to this, and I can work on putting some instructions together so that you could build your own of this and kind of see exactly how those techniques are accomplished a little closer. So yeah, I'll put this back together real quick here. It's really not that complex of a build. Again, here's the bottom, so you can see it's not really a fully enclosed circle here. But then once you put the bottom piece on here, we can get that back together and kind of squeeze it in tight. It's really it's pretty robust. So I was really happy with how this came out. Took some time kind of figuring out that technique, but again, pretty happy with how it turned out. And yeah, if anyone's interested, again, go ahead and comment down below, and I'd be willing to work up some instructions if enough people are interested. So yeah, thank you. Have a great day.